Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be discussing Poem America by Claude McKay, and I'm going to be talking about its structure, word choice, and literary devices in that poem. So I called my essay America the Double-Sided because I'm going to be highlighting the theory of double consciousness by V.E.W. Du Bois, an American socialist and Pan-Africanist. So here it goes. The poem America is among the most well-known poems of Claude McKay, a Jamaican writer, poet, and a key figure in Harlem Renaissance. Published in 1921 in the midst of racial struggles such as the Tulsa Race Massacre and USA's first technological process, the inventions like lie detector and insulin were made in that era, and the poem basically reveals the two phases of 20th century US, the ossified segregative phase and the modern progressive. So being a person of color, our author, Claude McKay, pictures the bitter reality of racism in the prosperous and neo-Terry country. He demonstrates this practically through his literary devices such as alliteration, juxtaposition, personification, oxymoron, imagery, and of course his unique structure, which I'm going to be talking about right now. So McKay chose to write his poem in a form of Shakespearean sonnet, and despite this form being used primarily for love lyrics, he used it to express his attitude towards the country rather than the person. Sonnet's expressive nature created the emotive, really passionate tone of the poem, and descriptions such as sinks into my throat or tiger's tooth or stealing my breath of life. Like such pictures description immerse the reader into the dramatic atmosphere and highlight the author's passion for racial justice. And also, as surprising as it might sound, but McKay's choice of poetic form has roots in traditional English poetry. And McKay felt a deep connection to European culture despite being a Jamaican immigrant. He named US his home, and he inherited mostly the white culture and considered himself a heir of English literature. And that's why he probably thought of a Shakespearean sonnet as an ideal form of eloquent writing. In his poem America, he draws on the concepts of double consciousness by V.E.B. Du Bois, an American sociologist, civil rights activist, the founder of the American Association for Advancement of Colored People. So the theory of double consciousness describes individual sensation of spirit identity, which makes it challenging to develop a unified sense of self and understand the value of one's social role, just like Claude McKay, who believes in racial equality, but at the same time views himself a European person. So Claude McKay demonstrates his own split identity in the second quatrain of America. He juxtaposes descriptions of admiration and hate in one sentence. Her vigor flows like tides into my blood, giving me strength against her hate. The writer impersonifies America, presenting the country as his evil stepmother or the unattainable woman because he cannot attain his dreams in the country, and because she doesn't love him as he loves her. So he doesn't give up, he approaches the relationship between himself and country as a challenge, saying that I love this cultured hell that tests my youth. And he uses an oxymoron, cultured hell, to further underscore his emotional conflict. So in the final emotional shift, the speaker turns to the future with a warning sign that America might collapse and lose its innovative spirit due to all of the terror, malice, and jeer, quoted from the poem. So he says that he darkly gazes into the days ahead and sees her might and granite wonders there beneath the touch of time's unerring hand, like priceless treasures sinking in the sand. So, in my opinion, this phrase is placed at the end of the poem for a reason. It serves as an indirect call to action, and basically a powerful message to the future generations, saying that if America doesn't improve her hateful beliefs, it's gonna fail in the future, and all of its innovations and all of its great things gonna sink in the sand. And he also makes allusions to a sonnet called Ozymandias by Percy Shelley, an English romantic poet who also brings out the idea that a great country may once crumble into nothing. So In Ozymandias it says, "Near them on the sand half sung a shadowed village lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip was never cold command." So in America, McKay also implements imagery and alliteration of sand sinking to precisely depict the seriousness of Yusa's situation and to show that, basically to immerse the reader one more time in this like drama of the US, like this big country dying and sinking in the sand. Thank you.